I don't know if I touched on the 4 different races at the beginning of the game and what their little attributes are, so I'll just recover them right now. So amarr are armor tanking ships. They have lasers and drones for the weapon systems. Caldari are shield tanking ships. They use hybrid weapons and missiles. Gallente are armor tanking ships. They use drones and hybrid weapons. Minmatar, they actually have both armor and shield tanking ships, and their weapon systems are missiles and projectile weapons. I actually have an example of some of the frigates that you upgrade into. For amarr, for minmatar, you have the Rifter. So this is the Rifter. For caldari, you have the Kestrel. And for gallente, you have the Incursus. Now, going back to the anatomy of your ship and fitting it, this is your DPS per second. It'll also display your drone damage if you have drones on there. It'll break down all the different types of weapons you have and what their DPS is on there. Currently, I only have one type of weapon system fitted to my ship, so it only displays turrets as 102.9 DPS. I have my alpha strike damage. Then I have an active module fit to my ship, so it displays how much hit points regenerated by that active module because it's fitted to my ship. If I was to remove it, it says no module. Your shield hit points, and these are the resistances that apply to your shields. Your armor, and the resistances that apply to your armor. Sorry about this. Structure, and the resists that apply to your structure. Then we have the targeting area. That's the maximum distance that I can lock. Now, a lot of these stat points can be adjusted by skills that you can train up on your character. Radar, sensor strength. If you just read some of these descriptions, it tells you pretty well what they do, what the speed of my ship is. Drone information, but I don't have drones fit to this ship. Now let's look at what I have fitted to this ship. So I have some overclocking rigs. These are called rigs. I'm currently maxed out on my calibration of 400/400. They increase my ship's CPU to allow me more flexibility when fitting. Small auxiliary current router increases my power grid, again allows me more flexibility on my fitting. The drawback is there are other rigs that can go in these slots as well, things that can improve damage, things that can improve tanking ability. There's just a ton of different rigs in the game that you can explore, but for this particular ship, this is how I have it fit. I have a small energy neutralizer, which for killing NPCs doesn't really serve a purpose on this ship, but I originally built this ship for PvP, so that's why it's part of the fit. I have an afterburner on here, which will increase the speed of my ship. Cap recharger, which I wouldn't normally have on here, but I'm doing going after NPCs, not actual other players, so I'll have the cap recharger on there. Then here I have a damage control. This is a passive module. It boosts resist to my structure, my armor, and my shields across the board. This is a active module, reactive armor hardener. It requires capacitor in order to activate and increases my armor resist 15% across the board. This particular type of hardener readjusts the resist that it applies based on the damage I'm taking from my enemy. This is a passive module. It increases my armor resist. This is called a heat sink. It increases the damage, my DPS, and it does so by increasing the rate of fire and the damage modifier. And then I have my armor repper, which you saw me equipped earlier. In my cargo hold, let's click over here, I have 4 different types of ammo here. These are things I picked up from a previous mission. Nanite repair paste, that's for regenerating modules that have overheated. And you have the ability to overheat some modules in game in order to get better efficiency out of them. But if you don't stop them from overheating after you use them, they can become damaged to the point where they can't be repaired by nanite repair paste, and you have to dock up to repair them. So these different types of crystals here, ammo for the lasers that I'm using, apply different amounts of damage at different ranges. So Tech 2 ammo applies the most damage for their range. Currently I have multi-frequency ammo fitted to my guns. They do the most damage, but have the drawback of being very close range. So let's see how these guns work against my enemy. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a level 1 mission. EBA. Okay, so this is the mission that I have. Find a repair station at the location your agent gives you and attack and destroy it. It may or may not be guarded, which it will be guarded. That's just how it is. So it displays a location. You can right click on here and select set destination, and as a destination here. I'm going to go ahead and click accept. Close. Now I'm going to undock. Now this here is called your overview. Mine is customized, so I have a few tabs here you're not going to see when you first join. Don't worry about that. It's not a problem. So you can see here the destination system that I need to go to is highlighted in yellow. There are a few different ways in which I can warp to it. Easiest way is just going over here, right clicking, and jump through Stargate. Or I can do it via my overview and click jump, or in space, if you can just go look around. Ah, there we are. There it is there. You can also click on it in space. Select jump.
Warp drive active.
Now here are some of the modules I have fit. These are all my active modules, or modules I have to click on in order to activate. Over here I have the option to turn off passive modules. I like to keep it off, so there's only the modules I actually have to turn on that show up. These can also be moved around in position depending on play style. Okay, so we jumped to the destination system for our first level 1 mission. Now warping to a location, you can right click in space and it'll say agent mission, break their will, encounter. I can warp to it there. Or you can just click warp to location over here. You click it, and now your ship's going to go warp there. Adjusting my view on the screen, I'm doing so by left clicking and holding, and then just dragging. There's also a first person mode, which I will show you once we get into combat. Now something important to take note of. Break their will. Cool. Okay, so there's the repair station. So I just tried to lock it, and it tells me I must be within 31 kilometers. My target is 39. So I want to go ahead and I want to approach my target. And let's speed things up here by activating my afterburner. And I'm going to right-click on the repair station, orbit. I'm going to orbit at 2,500. Now the reason I'm going to orbit at 2,500, because if I hover over the weapon that I have here, optimal range within 3,900, so let's say 4K. Fall off is within 7,000. So what that means is if I'm engaging a target that is within 3,000 kilometers of my optimal range, so either if they're within 7,000 or they're between if they're between 1,000 and 7,000, I'll be able to hit them easily, as it were, based on mass and speed, of course. Optimal range is where I'm going to do the most amount of damage, and if they're outside of my fall-off range, so if they're less than 1,000 kilometers or they're greater than 7,000, it doesn't mean you're not going to hit them, but it will mean if you do, your chances are you're not going to do as much damage. But there's also the high chance that you won't hit them, and of course, a further distance away, there's just no hope you're going to hit them. I'm going to activate my armor hardener because I'm going to lock up my target and start shooting at it. So there's a couple different ways that you can lock onto your target. You can either right-click on it in space and go lock target, or via your overview, right-click, lock target, or you can left-click to activate your weapons, and you can either left-click in your overview or in space, and your weapons will automatically start shooting at it as soon as it becomes available. So if you notice when these red enemies popped up, first they had a yellow box. Yellow box means that they've targeted me. Red box mean that they've actually opened fire on me.